Okay, so before we get started, the first thing I want to say is I have absolutely no training in physical education, physical therapy, none, zero, zip. I am not a personal trainer. All I do is educate myself through research, and then I work around my own ailments. So you may see me do something that if you are a personal trainer, well, that's not absolutely perfect form. It works for my ailment. So I wanted to just put that out there. This is what I do and what works for my body. So I had talked about that I had a fall recently, and I work on my core all the time, but I have to be honest, it hasn't always been the focal point of my exercise routine. But our core training is very important because as we age, we become a little unstable, and there are people who once they fall and break their hip, they never return to their normal life. So that is my goal, to prevent any future falls. The one I had the other day was pretty scary, so I decided that I needed to dedicate a little bit more time for core training. So I have a bum wrist, I have horrible tendonitis in both of my elbows, I have a very minor tear in my rotator cuff, and I have some neck issues, but nothing that really prevents me from living a normal life. And for me to be able to do planks, it's almost impossible. It just kills me. And I don't like regular sit-ups because I think they hurt the neck. I do like the hundreds with Pilates because you do place your neck in a different position. So I have been online researching, looking for core exercises, and some of these will also help with balance, which is very important, and have found some that really have worked for me. So I thought I would just share a few of those with you. Now, I am doing it at home today, which I normally do not. I go to the gym. So I am using much heavier weights at the gym, but for home, I only have what I have. So I'm going to demonstrate all of the moves for you. The important thing is that you challenge yourself. If you can do something so easy and you feel absolutely nothing, you are not challenging yourself. You should want to take a break by the time you are done with that set. You should say, oh my goodness, it's killing me. And maybe the next day or the day after, you're really gonna feel it. So keep that in mind. And another thing is I really believe in mind-muscle connection. I really think about the muscles that I am working. I'm not gabbing with the person next to me. I'm not at the gym with my girlfriend just chit-chatting away, talking about, oh, did he buy you dinner? Oh, that cheapskate. Nothing like that. I really focus. So think about what you are really trying to achieve here, okay? So we're gonna get started, and I'm just gonna go through the motion. I would do 3 sets of each, and again, I'm using much heavier weights at the gym. So let's get started. The first exercise, we're just going to use a plate. I find using a plate is easier for my shoulder. I can use a kettlebell for this, and you can also use a free weight. So this is only a 5-pound because that's all I have. At the gym, I am using a 10-pounder. And all you want to do is, I'm going to back up now, and I hope you can still hear me. So with this one, you want to hold the plate down, bring it up so it is level. So this is what you should look like. And you have your hands gripped. Now don't squeeze so hard, just comfortable. And then you want to really roll your shoulders back. You want to engage your whole core. That means suck it in, really hold it tight. And then you are just going to march in place, bringing your knees up as high as you can. You don't want to be doing this yet. You're just engaging the core and marching in place. And I do about 18 of these to 20, and I do 3 sets of each. Now, how you decide to do your sets is totally up to you. You can do all 3 sets at once, or you can do like I do. To prevent boredom, I will go on to the next one. So that is totally up to you. So now, because I also want to engage the obliques, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm holding it up, and I'm just twisting it lightly to the side, and I'm marching in place. And you will feel that this is now engaging the oblique muscles. So keep the arms up, stomach engaged, and you do the same thing 20, and then you just go to the other side, and you march in slow pace or faster pace. It's totally up to you. I like to do everything in a controlled fashion so that my form is right, and I'm also not going to injure myself. So that's what I would do for one set. So it would be the front, and then I would take it to the side, and I would take it to the side again, and I would do 20 on each side, and that's one set. And I will do 3 of those, but again, I switch off. The next is to raise it above your head and march in place. And again, you want a challenging weight for you. You want to be able to feel it in the core area. And then after you have done 18 of this, or 20, or 10, you want to lower it slowly until you bring it down. And then you want to bring it back up and slowly lower it, keeping the knees coming up as high as you can, staying in proper form. So now with the plate still, or you can use a free weight, you can use a ball. I'll show you all of these. I start out lower, knees bent slightly, and I just go side to side, and I'm only going until I feel the tension. I'm not going crazy like this. I'm just really engaging my core and feeling it. And then I move up, and I move up, and I move down. And that really helps to work the oblique muscles. So the next one is the farmer's walk. Very, very effective. This works the whole core area. So I roll my shoulders back. That's very important. You don't want to be doing this. You want to roll the shoulders back and be standing as tall as you possibly can. You want to engage your core. Now at the gym, I use 35-pound plates, so I'm carrying 70 pounds doing this. Here I have 15 pounds. And all we're going to do and walk, carrying the weight that makes you feel challenged. So for me, that's 35 pounds at the gym. This is just 30 pounds. And at the gym, I have an area that I actually walk. I'd say it's probably about 45 to 60 seconds. And I walk that route with 35 pounds, so that's 70 pounds, because I have 35 in each hand, 70 pounds. So that's more than half my weight, because I weigh 132 right now. So I'm carrying 70 pounds, more than half my weight. Now I've been doing this, let's see, 35 pounds. I probably just started doing this about 2-3 weeks ago. So maybe in about 4 weeks, I'll be ready to go up to the next weight. But really a great overall core exercise. But make sure to pull your shoulders back and walk standing tall, engaging the core, really thinking about what you're doing. Another thing is you can take a weight that challenges you. This is a 15-pound. And just, you can assist it up like I did. I assisted it up so that I don't cause any problems to the elbow or the shoulder. Now I have it just above my head, and I'm walking with 1. So you're really, really engaging this side of the obliques. So take 2 of them, and you can just hold them out in front like this. Now I feel this in the upper part of my ribs, and all the way, it wraps all the way around my back. It's also working my shoulders. So again, you're just walking with these. Or for a little more advanced and to help your balance, you can march. Everything should be in a slow, controlled movement. so that you don't hurt yourself. So now I have a kettlebell. Kettlebells are nice to work with because the way they are shaped, they give you, there's more of a challenge in really holding the kettlebell steady. You really have to engage every fiber of your muscle to keep the kettlebell where you want it. So for me, with a kettlebell, I'll take either two 15 pounds or 12 pounds. I only have one here, and I'll do the same thing I just did with the free weights. So if you just have a kettlebell, you can easily just march in place, holding that up. You're really engaging the core to be able to stabilize the odd shape of the kettlebell. You can also use the kettlebell like this, hold it out, and march in place. Again, same as what we did in the beginning, but just with a kettlebell. And the challenge is different. If you have access to heavier kettlebells, you can also do the farmer's walk with them. You can do the one-sided. I carry a 35-pound at the gym. I will put my arm up like this. Now the trick to this is you don't want to lean in and you don't want to lean over. You want to stabilize the core, and while stabilizing, straight up again, round your shoulders back, hold your arm up, march in place, or march moving, staying straight up. You don't want to be doing this, you want to be straight up. And again, at the gym, I use a 35-pounder. And again, as many sets as you feel is appropriate for your level of fitness. For me, it's 3 sets, and I go until I am fatiguing that area. It is exhausted and wants to go home. Another great weight to have for core training is a weighted ball. Now this one is an 8-pounder. You can simply do movements like you just bend your knees slightly, shoulders rounded back, and just lift up and down without moving your body, with control. And again, I am engaging my whole core for this. And I will tell you, I am seeing changes in the core area, my friends. I still have the wrinkly skin and I have a little bit of fat I can still see, but I'm happy, 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 and very proud of myself for the accomplishments I have made. All right, so you can also take that medicine ball, feet slightly apart, knees bent, shoulders up and back, and you can just side to side with a little bit of a twist, and you can bring that ball all the way up. Now remember, you're not going crazy with this. It's just a small movement, and it really is engaging my core. You can also stand up against a wall, touching the wall behind you. Remember, there's no speed race here. It's controlled, slow and controlled. And that is very good for also the obliques and the entire core. So now my most favorite of all is this one. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do before because I don't know how well the sound will be. I'm going to lay on my back and I have a 15-pound weight. At the gym I use a 15-pounder or a 20-pounder. Depends on how hard I have worked out whatever muscle group I'm working out and how fatigued I feel, because I am going to hold this above my head. So I want to make sure that my arms aren't too tired. I'm going to lay down, I'm going to hold the weight up in front of me, and I'm going to bring my knees up and alternate them down, almost like I'm running. So I don't know how much I'll talk here, or if I am talking, if you'll be able to hear me. So just follow along, my friends. I know you all are glued to what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm laying on the mat. I'm just going to lay down, and I want to keep my back flat to the mat. I'm going to take the weight, and I'm holding it above my head, and I have a good grip on it. Now make sure that you do have a good grip, because you don't want this falling on your face. So we're going to start out right above our face. I'm going to bring my knees up, and I'm going to engage my whole core, and then I'm just going to tap my knees down. Now at the gym, I do this on a bench so my legs can go down further, but for beginner, this is fine. So I tap my heels first, keeping the weight above me, and then I will extend out a little bit. Now I've moved down lower into the core, and I go flat-footed, and I do about 20 to 25 of each of these, and then I move the weight back above my head slightly. So now it's over the top of my head, and I do the same thing, flat-footed and heel to heel, and then I will go even further, and each time I'm engaging the core as hard as I possibly can, flat-footed, heel to heel, and then one more time down, and now I have engaged it all the way up into the rib cage. This looks easy, but it's not. It's very challenging and it's very fatiguing. So the last move that I just did at the gym, I'm on a bench. I'm sitting on the bench with my knees on the floor, then I lay back, push my back into the bench, engage my whole core, and then carry on, but my knees are going over the bench and hitting the floor now. So there's a much larger range of motion for me, which really, really engages the lower part of my abs as well. So if you have access to a bench, try to incorporate that into the move. It really does help. So I think that's it for today's targeted core exercises. Now again, remember, when you are working out with weights, you are engaging your core at all times, so you are doing core exercises, but it's not enough. We need to do more. There are exercises, core exercises that you can do that I don't do. Remember, I don't do planks, I don't do sit-ups. I do these. I will show you this one as well. This one, I take a kettlebell, 10 pound, 5 pound, whatever level you're at. I lean slightly back, and I will go side to side. And again, a very slow movement so that you don't hurt anything. You can go back a little bit further, and then as you become more advanced, you can lift your legs off the ground. And that's a killer, my friends. That is a killer. And that is it for today's core exercise video. Remember, I am not an expert. I am only sharing with you the exercises that are working for me that also work around all of my ailments. I did forget to mention that I also have sciatica, and I have a bulging disc that lays on a nerve. So I have to work around all of them because I'm not willing to sacrifice my workouts for injuries. So I am very careful with everything that I do with my workouts. So I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know if you want to see more. And that is it. I'm winded. I'm going to have a big jug of water now. And if you haven't already subscribed, I would love to have you as an Ageless Beauty. So hit the subscribe button, and right next to it is a bell that notifies you of all the videos that I'm putting up. Until the next time, my friends, go out in the world, be lovable, be as strong as you possibly can. And remember, it is okay to love our age. I love you all. Bisous.